All right, we're back.
Yes, after being gone for quite possibly 40 minutes, we are now officially about to get underway with our review of Shinihun Pro Wrestle Kingdom 19 and the inaugural Wrestle Dynasty that was hosted by New Japan, All Elite Pro Wrestling, Stardom, Ring of Honor, and CMLL. We're going to do this in order, starting off with Wrestle Kingdom. Both events took place at the Tokyo Dome. For night one's attendance, it was a total of 24,107 people, less than what we talked about before when we talked about how there were 50,000 people.
Well, they haven't drawn 50,000 in a while, but I think last year they drew 27, 28. And
Yeah, but
this year,
I'm talking about like all those years ago when we was reviewing this. Like,
yeah,
yo,
yeah,
remember
yeah,
when we
yeah.
talked about how there was like 50,000 people in attendance? Look at how that
Yeah,
number shrunk to 30.
but they went through a pandemic, they went through
That
tough
too.
business times, so they're on their way back up in terms of business. And I mean, considering what New Japan has been through in the last year in terms of talent they lost and things of that nature, 24K isn't a bad number at all.
The tagline for this event and Wrestle Dynasty was 2 days to move the world. Sekai o Ukasu. So, yes, they had 2 days to move the world with their big events, move the world with the competition that they were bringing to the table starting off the new year. And they started off hot. I will admit that this year's Wrestle Kingdom was a little weird. The fact that some things were lost in the shuffle and some things had to be added within, weeks, days per event. So I can understand completely why things needed to be done the way they had to be. But overall, the event was still spectacular for what they brought out. Uh, First of all, the New Japan Ramble always takes place at this event. It's usually in the pre-show or the kickoff, the 0 hour, depending on what you want to call it. And Hiroki Goto won that event. Being that now the KOPW Championship is officially retired in New Japan Pro Wrestling after existing for 4.5 years. Thanks a lot, Okada, for giving us a comedic belt. Now the New Japan Rambo is for people that want to be number one contender for the world title or any title of their choosing.
So once again, here we go again with Hiroki Goto. Is Charlie Brown going to kick the football this time?
Oh my God. I kept thinking the same thing. Is he finally, like, it's been 9 years, 9 whole years since he's gotten a world title shot. And it's like, is this finally going to happen? This man has been a chaser for so long.
They're not letting Charlie Brown kick that football. I don't
believe. One day, it'll be that one day he'll kick that fucking football. And we'll sit here and be like, yep, finally did it. He finally kicked it, and it was good. But overall, submitted to the approval of the Ramblemania show, this is the tale of both events being sponsored by a bullet train.
Yes.
Without further ado, let us commence with the rambling as we open up the show officially with the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship match in a fatal 4-way Tokyo Terror ladder match. The Ichiban Sweet Boys of TMDK, Robbie Eagles and Kosei Fujita, the Super Junior Tag League winners. The Intergalactic Jet Setters, who were the IWGP Junior Tag Champions, former, of Kevin Knight and Kushida. Catch 2-2 of TJP and Francesco Akira, representing the United Empire. And the Bullet Club War Dogs of Clark Connors and Drilla Maloney. This match was 13 minutes and 4 seconds.
Yeah, I more or less said this when we watched the match live, in that when it comes to modern day ladder matches, there isn't really a lot you can do that hasn't already been done, that most people haven't already seen. So I think the best way to proceed is to just kind of go balls to the wall. And that's what these guys kind of did. They kind of just went out, did a lot of crazy, inventive, brutal looking spots. And kind of went bang, bang, bang with it to a degree where I think some of the spots kind of looked a little off or a little messed up because of that fact that they were going so fast with it. But overall, it's what more or less you want out of a Wrestle Kingdom opener, an exciting, fast-paced showcase for your junior tag teams. So yeah, I'm gonna give this a good and a half.
I should have asked this before we started the rambling. This without naming any matches, are we looking at any goats? Are we looking at any goats higher?
For Kingdom, no. For Dynasty, yes.
Okay. I might have one for Kingdom and maybe two for Dynasty. We will see though. Okay, so yes, this match is basically, your typical opener. Junior heavyweights open up the show, get the highlight spots out of the way so that everyone get their oohs and ahs so that it can all be energized and ready for the rest of the card going forward. I enjoyed the match for all four teams that competed here. I know that this is also a thing that's been going on with New Japan. There are people that are leaving. Kushida is one of them. Kevin Knight being one of them too, which is one of the reasons why the belts had to be taken off of them. It was your typical like crash course. You said the word brutal on this match in particular, and there were some brutal moments where some spots just didn't really click well, and they looked like they really fucking hurt after they did them, and it just didn't feel like it was worth doing to begin with. I do believe that it's also the fact that we have too many heads and we have to focus on everyone else that needs to do their other stuff at the same time. So everyone needs their airtime. There were some spots here that were kind of crazy with tables and, Drilla Maloney dropping Robbie Eagles off that big ass ladder. And we also had a ladder that was also on the brink of breaking as well from its hinges because that shit is just fucking like, whoa. It was insane. I do believe that all four teams were playing their roles in particular great. Well, it was good that TMDK got their moment. It's always like the junior tag league guys that always get the big highlights when they're in these types of matches for the tag belts. And it's always good because now we have the Gaijin people being on top of every single Japanese wrestler in New Japan right now. So they're basically taking over. I'm going to give them you gave it a 3.5?
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you on this. I'll give it a 3.5 as well. It was really good. Very good. And I'm happy that and Fujita making history by being the youngest ever IWGP champion in history of New Japan.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know how old he is, but they made that very clear to us. They wanted to remind us that they kept shoving it down our throats a lot.
Yes. Our boy Fujita is a youngin. He's 22. Yes. So
okay. Oh well, shit. Wow. That is definitely young. Definitely young. Okay. So for the IWGP Women's Championship, Mayu Iwatani defends her title against Azumi. This was 8 minutes and 45 seconds. Go ahead, TJ. Ramble on.
They heard the time they were getting, and they said, very well, let us go. And they went. No joke, this is probably one of the best under 10-minute matches you'll see. Like, this was a fantastic match. They went from go extremely fast paced. It was almost like a high speed Stardom match. Really, if you're familiar with the high speed championship in Stardom, but again, they completely went off. Azumi with some incredible dives, as she's known to do, an incredible high flyer she is. Mayu Iwatani is one of the best in the world, and she shows it every single time she wrestles. The top rope double stomp always looks great that she does. And again, foot on the gas from start to finish. Mayu hit the switch and they were going. You would want to see more. It set them up in a way where you would want to see them wrestle again down the line in a more paced out match. So if this was your first time seeing these women, or you were, more or less unfamiliar with them, I think this was a great opportunity to familiarize yourself with them and make you want to dive deeper into what they're capable of. So I'm going to give this a bars. This was an excellent match. I think Mayu is one of the best in the world. I think iZombie is one of the best in the world and is going to continue to grow because she's also very young. So, yeah, bars.
I honestly believe that both of these women were the absolute highlight of this whole event. And this is also New Japan telling us how sorry they were after they just gave them the shaft last year, which was kind of fucked up. Like, this is Wrestle Kingdom. You'd think that you could put the women's championship on the fucking card and utilize this belt. Make it feel like the Stardom women can fight for something in a big arena where people can actually see them be talented. This match proved it here. And, I kind of pissed it like, oh, I wanted more time. I don't think it fucking mattered at the moment. Because at the moment, once the bell ring, we just got high impact action. And I think that's what was necessary. Both of these women, I can honestly say this was just straight up hard hitting, stiff. It was fun. The crowd, I never heard a crowd get so loud over a women's match like that ever. No, maybe the first ever one in cross history,
I mean, yeah, for a match in the Dome, yeah.
But this one was just great. It was amazing. It told a really good story too. It told the passion that these two women had, that they're going out there to give it their all for these people that love to go watch Joshis compete every single week and put their heart and soul into that ring. It's a lot of sacrifice that they were willing to take, and they proved it. I enjoyed the fuck out of it. This is getting a 4.5.
Respect it.
For the 8 minutes that they gave them, honestly, like even the near falls. I complain about near falls so much here. I think watching near falls in Joshi matches are so fucking good because they could hit that shit on point.
Yeah, they're very good.
I've never seen something that emotional in my life. That was just amazing. That was amazing. For the New Japan Pro Wrestling World Television Championship in a fatal 4-way match, El Phantasmo versus Ren Narita versus Jeff Cobb versus Ryohei Oiwa. This was 10 minutes and 1 second. Go ahead, TJ. Ramble on.
Yeah. This was more or less a standard 4-way with defined roles for everybody. ELP is the baby face with the triumphant story coming in. Jeff Cobb is the powerhouse. Ren Narita is the shit heel that is getting bumped and everyone's got their eye on. And Oiwa is the up-and-coming star. Like, everybody had defined roles. Everybody played them really well. It made for a very entertaining match. I thought Cobb was the absolute standout here, and he usually is in these types of matches, which is I'm sure why they put him in it, because he always shines in multi-man environments like this because, like, again, Jeff Cobb is just such a dynamic wrestler. Like, he gets in and can throw dudes in all different types of ways and all different types of combinations. He's a very exciting wrestler. ELP's an exciting babyface. And Narita, he in this role, I liked him. I liked him as fucking dipping in and out and the guys jumping him and all those types of things. Like, again, everybody had a defined role and everybody worked it very well here. And I should have considered ELP winning, but I didn't. But it was very nice that he did win. It did pay off his road back to coming back to New Japan after what he went through over the last year. So a big shout out to ELP. Glad to see him healthy, glad to see him back, and glad to see him now rocking as a champion. So I'm going to give this a good 2.5, 3.5.
I liked all four competitors here. I mean, Jeff Cobb was the definite highlight of this whole match. He basically just took everybody and just chucked them over and, just did his stuff. Everyone else really did a good job here. I'm still new to Oiwa. I'm still trying to like learn more about him. Again, I don't watch a lot of New Japan that much for me to actually sit back and, you know, see what he could do. I know he's one of the new recruits that they brought in because they needed more guys. So fuck it. I'm going to pay attention to what he's going to be doing going into 2025. This match, when we first saw it, I'm like, I'm going into this blind with this new guy, and he actually was pretty impressive. He didn't seem to be lost in the fucking shuffle in this fucking match. Like, quite possibly, Ren Narita. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm gonna go complete opposite with you here. He got lost in the shuffle here. I know it was possibility that he was gonna lose that TV title, but it was more of the issue of like he didn't really do much. I kind of wanted him to do more, and that kind of sucked.
He was hiding. He was hiding a lot.
I get that, but it's also like, you know, not all like three guys can't carry one match, and the other one just has to sit back and just. I get that trope from time to time, but it's also like, bro, this is a sport. Can we at least utilize the sport and not be entertaining for once, not be that goofy? I understand that in his position, in his faction, he has to be that goofy ass heel because look at what the fuck he is. He's a fucking heel. I get it, but it's also like, yo, seize the opportunity. You have every moment to do things illegally here, knowing that there are multiple men in this match. It's not like it's an elimination. If you do something illegal, you're out of the match. No, it's, bro, let's get chaotic here. And that's kind of what I was expecting. I got some of it with some of the other guys, Jeff Cobb and ELP and, you know, the new kid, but I was expecting more of that from Ren. I was expecting, I don't know, Dick Togo to show up and just fucking distract the ref for some random shit. That didn't happen. It was just, we know that we got a specific time limit because of the TV title match, so let's just do what we can and rush this out of here because we got more matches to take place. I'm happy overall for ELP getting the win because cancer triumphs, or man beats cancer, triumphs everything that he's done throughout his entire career. This was the monumental step for him as a singles competitor, and it was the right move. I would have been okay with Jeff Cobb doing it, but at this point in time, like, I do believe that ELP deserved it way more, and I'm happy that he got that highlight. So yeah, I'll give it a good and a quarter.
No.
Lumberjack Death Match. Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Evil. If Tanahashi loses, he had to retire from in-ring competition. The match was 15 minutes and 7 seconds of disappointment. Go ahead, TJ, ramble on.
You're saying disappointed because you expected something that it was never going to be, quite frankly. And I knew what this was going to be from the jump. I expected it. And honestly, I liked it more than I thought I would have. It was stupid House of Torture bullshit, which of course you knew you're gonna get with the Evil and House of Torture, but Hiroshi Tanahashi just has a way about him, man. He really does, and it's why at the end of this run we're gonna talk about how much we're gonna miss him. But he's the perfect baby face. He knows how to get the crowd involved. He knows how to get the crowd into every little dumb thing that the House of Torture does and how he makes his comebacks. And by the end of the match, he had him up. He had him cheering for his comeback, and he had them ready to see him win, which is all you can really ask for in a silly match like this. I actually think Evil performed up to snuff. He was fine in the match. The Lumberjack moments, they had their moments. Like, they didn't go too insane with all the bullshit. They sort of segmented it out throughout the match with fucking guys getting killed off left and right. So yeah, I'll give it a good. I will give it a straight up good. Don't tell Young Wolf that I actually kind of like the House of Torture match, but I kind of did. Whatever. I'm giving it a good.
Was not a fan of this. I thought it was just too cartoony, and we should have just gotten more chaotic with it. Here's the thing. If you're gonna do a lumberjack death match, do it, But
I
you
think
just
you're too
did the
focused on the
lumberjack.
death
You
match
did the
element of it,
lumberjack part, and not the death. But here's the thing: I saw Kenta versus Hiroshi Tanahashi a few years ago at their Wrestle Kingdom before the whole world went to shit.
Yeah.
And Tanahashi was in that death match. And he did a whole lot more crazy shit on there than what he could have done here. I understand. Okay, he's worn out. He has no fucking legs. He can't keep going. But why is it that every time we say whenever the bell rings, it's like he could fucking go?
Well, to an extent. And again, this was a heavily smoked and mirrors type of match. Like Hiroshi Tanahashi's not doing a death match.
I know
over.
that. So then don't call it a death match. Just call it like it would have just been a simple lumberjack match, because guess what? That's what House of Torture has been doing. They've kind of made the lumberjack match their fucking staple.
But that's
how
what it was
how
always
else can
going to
you
be.
get chaotic? How else can you
what
get
it was gonna be.
chaotic? But we all know a lumberjack has no disqualification stipulations in it. So why add the implications of death, knowing that there were going to be any implications of death in that match? The only thing that we saw was this man pull a Gary Sheffield, swinging a chair at another chair.
That's what I'm saying. Cool. Everybody knew what it was going to be. Nobody expected an actual death match thing. Like that was just a title they put on it. But everybody knew what it was going to be. It was going to be a regular lumberjack.
The thing that was extreme throughout this whole match was when Evil sprayed Master Wato with some symbol.
It killed Wato.
Yeah, like that was the one. That was like probably the little implicated death that we got. They killed Master Wato since they're never going to give him the junior heavyweight title. How fucking dare you people? I don't know, man. This wasn't my cup of tea. It just didn't feel right to me. I'm literally not feeling this shit. You know, House of Torture just looking like a house of dicks. So I'm going to give this match a bad. I get it. You know, we want Tanahashi to complete the one final year of 2025 with this whole fucking run. But it's like, how long can you go, bro? You can barely walk. Oh, well. You win some, you lose some. All right, it's the winner-take-all match for the Never Openweight Championship and the AEW International Championship. Konosuke Takeshita goes one-on-one with Shingo Takagi. Oh, yeah, Don Callis is there. This was 12 minutes and 46 seconds. Go ahead, TJ, ramble on.
This was a really, really, really good match that had the inklings and hints of a great match within there, but it just didn't get enough time and space. So hopefully down the line they do. But I really enjoyed this. Like, it's exactly what you would expect from these two big, beefy, mean motherfuckers just getting in there and throwing at each other and throwing each other. Takeshita is the guy that will get in there and knock you out, and Shingo is the guy that pretty much dares you to even try to knock him out because he's coming right back at you every time. And it made for a very good pairing. Again, all the exchanges were very good. Takeshita is such a one-of-one ridiculous athlete. So they worked at a very good pace there. So again, it felt like one of those matches where they're in that first gear, they pop to that second gear, and they show hints of that third gear, but they don't completely go all the way behind that curtain. They keep it at a strong second gear. So if you've seen how Shingo operates in recent years, it kind of fell along his formula. So that's kind of why I thought he would win. But Takeshita won the match, obviously went on to face Ishii on Dynasty the next night, and that worked out perfectly because, as we saw, Takeshita is definitely the guy that if you want a guy that's going to represent in multiple companies and go to multiple companies and win championships, Konosuke Takeshita is that guy. So I'm going to give this the highest of goods.
GOAT.
Oh, my God.
Goat.
Oh, my God.
Go. I've never seen a match that had the implications of the word never in it. These two men never gave up. They never quit. They never stopped. They just kept going until one of them needed to fucking go down. And it is one thing that I can honestly respect about Don Callis. He doesn't do any of the bullshit that he does in North America here in Japan. He's only here as a spectator. He's not going to come on commentary because he's already done that job. That's beneath him.
They have Walker Stewart. I like him.
Yeah, they have that guy that was talking shit about my company that I work for. Fuck.
Oh yeah, that other nerd. That guy's weird, but Walker Stewart, he's cool.
Yeah, I don't want to get too into that because I think we said what we need to say. But all jokes aside, like fuck you, you're an idiot.
Again, I think Chris Charlton is generally good at his job, but he jumped out the window there. I don't know what he was thinking. He shouldn't have done that.
These two men were just literally fighting. It was an absolute fight. Yeah, it had wrestling in it, but when you saw the forearms, you saw the chops, and you saw the no selling, the counters, the psychology, and it was executed in a way that made you want to watch more and more and more. You wanted to have an insatiable appetite of life and watching two men beat the ever-living shit out of each other. There it is right there. This is the match for you. This is literally that match. Konosuke Takeshita is a fucking star. He's an absolute star. And like literally 2025 is going to be his fucking year. And I'm glad that Shingo Takagi has brought him up to the level of like fucking bro, you're going one-on-one against the dragon. You may be the alpha, but this dragon is absolutely unbeatable when it comes. Yeah, he'll lose matches, but I'm talking like he will keep fighting and fighting and fighting, dude. This guy's unbreakable. Like, I've seen athletes that go out there and give it their all and just like literally just faint during a match and just like feel like that's it, it's over. I have no more energy left. Shingo is like, I have infinite energy. I don't have to fucking go down.
Essentially,
it was a GOAT. This match was fucking great. I loved every minute of it. It was so hard hitting that it woke me the hell up. Just hearing all the shots, because that dude, I'm surprised no jaws or no fucking orbital bones or eardrums were broken. I'm surprised nobody walked out of there with a fucking welt or a bruise. This is a GOAT, bro. This is a fucking GOAT. Konosuke is another guy that has been getting fucking goated matches, 5-star matches, not just Will Ospreay. El Desperado takes on Doki for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. The match was 5 minutes and 20 seconds due to referee stoppage. Go ahead, TJ Ramblemania.
Yeah, you can't really give this a real review. I mean, we saw what happened, and a very unfortunate injury to poor Doki. So hopefully, well wishes to him and a speedy recovery. But what we got to see up to that point was very good. Both guys looked very good. It was shaping up to be a very good match. But again, it got cut off before we could even really get going. So an unfortunate shame. So I'm not going to rate it. I'm just going to give my well wishes to Doki. And I mean, a shout out to Despy. I hope he has a good reign because obviously Despy's great, but just, an unfortunate circumstance here.
Well, right now with Battle in the Valley taking place, he has a match against, I think Taiji Ishimori.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, honestly, we never experienced shit like this taking place at Wrestle Kingdom at all. And it was an abrupt shock. It caught us off guard. Because me and TJ will tell you, because we're the New Japan guys here, like when we are excited for something, we are literally 100% invested. And all the time, we have been naturally invested in what the junior heavyweight division has got to offer because they are so fucking good. But this was just out of nowhere, and it broke our hearts literally because we were literally excited for this. We were excited to see Despy have his moment in the Dome again. We were excited for Doki to have his one-on-one match. All for that to fucking just poof, go away because Doki jumped off the top rope, landed on his elbow incorrectly, and fucked it up. You could tell in our reactions that we were not happy with the outcome. The crowd was not happy with what happened. But again, accidents happen in this business. Not everyone is perfect. All right. One slip up, one fucking, one move could fucking injure you, end your whole career. More importantly, could kill you. Our thoughts and prayers go out to Doki. Hopefully he makes a speedy recovery from this elbow injury. And when he comes back, we got to run that back. We definitely have to run that back. Because what the fuck?
Yes, hopefully we do.
So yeah, we're not gonna grade it. We just gave our thoughts about it because there's really no point. We can't just go out of our way to give it a now because that's a negative. So no, it stays the way it is. If it was a referee stoppage, we're not gonna give this one a grade. It's a great stoppage here for that one. Yota Tsuji goes 1-on-1 against David Finlay for the IWGP Global Force Heavyweight Championship. This was 19 minutes and 35 seconds. Go ahead, TJ. Ramble on.
If you'd have told me David Finlay would have been in the best match of the night at fucking Wrestle Kingdom, I'd have called you crazy. But here the fuck we are. Match of the night. What the hell? David Finlay and Yota Tsuji went crazy here. An absolutely fantastic match. And I mean, Yota Tsuji has been that guy who goes back and forth between, all right, this guy's got a little bit of way to go between that and, no, fuck it, this guy's the fucking future. Strap him up right now. He's got all the goods. And David Finlay's been on, truth be told, this upward trajectory over the past year. He's had a very good year. He was very good in the G1. This has been coming along for David Finlay. And these guys came out in a position to kill, and they killed it. Just the physicality, it felt like how classic Wrestle Kingdoms, where you get to that point in the evening, and this was one of the last 3 matches, it felt like that ramp-up point. It felt like the real ramp-up point. And they were built for those lights. They performed extremely admirably under those lights. And I can't say much more beyond how, impressed and proud I am of David Finlay. Looked like a star with his entrance, performed like a star in the match. In losing, made Yota Tsuji look like an absolute superstar. And Yota Tsuji always makes himself look like a superstar. So, again, major props to these guys. A real hard-hitting, great back and forth, great story told within the match. I'm going to give this a bars and a half, my match of the night.
Yeah, holy shit. This was very impressive. On David Finlay's behalf, we last year he had a pretty good match because he was in there with Ospreay and he was in there with Moxley. But it was also that situation where it's like Will Ospreay was leaving, Moxley's not sticking around. So the only person that we could hand this belt off to is David Finlay. And yes, throughout the 2 times that he's had that belt, he's had an amazing reign, especially with his leadership as Bullet Club. I have been hearing a lot of raving reviews about David Finlay's run as the leader of Bullet Club, and he has been on top of his game. He's one person that everyone should keep talking about going forward. But then there's that rumor talking about how he could possibly be leaving. First of all, this man coming out here looking like Brian Fury with the minigun.
Yes.
Because Bullet Club had that crossover with Tekken once again. So, good shit. Good fucking shit. I liked it. Meanwhile, he had to wrestle someone that was just basically, where in the world is fucking Yota Tsuji? Literally, my nigga with the all right, like, we made fun of wrestlers that had like goofy outfits or come out with creepy, goofy shit, or people are just on drugs and just want to come out with whatever the fuck they want. But Yota Tsuji's outfit, bro, was. I'm surprised there are no memes yet. There are no fucking memes yet of this shit. And if there is, please send it to me.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find some.
This match, though, was just fucking great. I talked about last year how Yota Tsuji is the fucking future of this company, especially after his match with Yuya Uemura last year. That was a hidden gem match, and this match right here was another one. I would have given this match a go, but again, it's also that thing where I just tell myself, you were almost there. You almost had it, but something bothered me here, and that was, why did we give the belt to Yota? He could have lost here. I would have been okay with him losing. If we wanted to make Debbie Finlay look still strong, since this is now what I'm seeing going into New Japan, this is the generation of the fucking Gaijins taking over the sport. So, because some of their new guys, some of their future guys that they have lined up are injured. Fucking Sonata got demoted and went to Bullet Club and became a sidekick. So it's like, yeah, whatever. I guess we should make Yota Tsuji a champion, because not that no one has faith in David Finlay. It's just he's had that belt for too long, and I don't think they have any other bodies for him to face. So might as well just start a rivalry with this guy and probably win the belt back from him. Whatever. I don't know. The fucking great match, though. It was hard hitting. It was, David Finlay, and in his prime, when he's in a one-on-one match, that's when it's turned on. That's when we see him at his most vicious.
He had the juice.
And he had the juice here, homie. He literally had it here. I'm sorry. There are a lot of guys in Bullet Club that I see as leaders that have that factor, but none oozes it factor more than David Finlay. He is that guy. I'm sorry. A lot of people could fucking argue with me about it. Could say that he's overrated, that he feels weird being the leader of this shit. I don't give a fuck. He's been doing a spectacular job in his role. Fight me all you want about it. This match was just absolutely fucking amazing. I will give this match a 4.5. I loved it. It was fun. It was absolute fun. Naito Tetsuya goes one-on-one with Takahashi Hiromu in a special singles match, a New Japan tradition. This match was 17 minutes and 4 seconds. Go ahead, TJ, ramble on.
Probably shouldn't have been that long, but this is one of those where you can tell with these guys, the mind is 100% there, but the body simply isn't anymore. Like, Hiromu has obviously gone through his fair share of injuries with his neck and everything, and then he's slowing down, and we know about Naito, man. We know Naito is pretty much at the Tanahashi tier, if not worse at this point, in terms of how his body is breaking down on him and how much he can physically do these days. So if you were looking for a great physical and athletic match for these two, you were not going to get that on this night, and you were probably disappointed. But where I felt this match succeeded was in the storytelling, because obviously the whole point of this match was the story, in that it's, Hiromu finally facing, his big brother, essentially, Naito, and going one-on-one with him after all these years. He refuses the fist bump at the beginning. He's the aggressor going early on. And, and that's how the story proceeds throughout the match. And we go on when we have things like toward the end where Naito tries the fucking Stardust press, and Hiromu stops him like, hell no, you can't do that. You'll fucking die. Don't do that. And that sort of leads Naito to get the win. You could argue that Naito getting the win is questionable, but I mean, again, if the story you're telling here is, It's the little brother finally getting to face the big brother on the big stage, and the big brother ekes out the big win with the big stage experience. And I guess you can take that and accept that. And then you had the post match, obviously, with them help with Hiromu helping Naito out, and the love that they showed each other. And again, if you look back, you can see them going back all the way back to when Hiromu was a young boy, essentially coming up under Naito. So
Kama Itachi, son.
Yeah. So again, I think this isn't a match you look at for the physical aspects of it at all. You look at it and you dig into the story of what these guys mean to each other's careers. And that's where I got into it. That's where I got into it. The emotion and the story of it. And that's where I'm going to give it a good and a half at, because I really thought that in spite of the fact that obviously their bodies can't do what they want them to do anymore, they still have the minds and the story at hand to be able to tell a great story with them. So yeah, we give it a good and a half.
I could honestly agree with everything that you said at the beginning. I was not going into this thinking, oh, these two guys are actually going to do crazy shit. They're going to kill each other. They're going to drop each other on their heads on the apron, whatever. No, because we all know what the fuck's going on here. We all saw what happened with Hiromu all those years ago. Thanks a lot, Dragon Lee, you fucking idiot.
Lord, it was an accident.
I mean, it's still, I mean, either way, overall, it may have been an accident, but it's just like, it's moments like that where it's like, Hiromu can't do any of the shit that he used to do before, so now he has to dumb down his moveset. And then you have Naito, who at his age and his career is literally like he's on fatigue right now. My legs! Like, do you not notice that this man has to literally wrap his legs up?
Yeah.
Again, he's another one where he's like, he can't walk. Why the fuck you think his entrances are so long? The fucker can't walk. But again, he's like Hiroshi. The minute the fucking bell rings, he's turned the fuck on. And he got legs. But shit, I was not going into this thinking that this was going to be high impact, headshot action, galore type bullshit. I knew this was going to be as methodical as it was. And the only thing that sold me, that gave me motive to keep going watching this match was all about fucking brotherly love.
Yeah.
I can't see it as like they try to execute the greatest moves that they have in their arsenal for all these years. You really think that fucking Tetsuya Naito is going to climb up the top rope and do his fucking corkscrew plancha? Hell no. Motherfucker will land on his own goddamn head.
Yeah.
You are insane thinking that he's going to do that. And the crazy thing is he tried to tease it. And like, Stardust Genius coming into play? Are you serious? You can't fucking pull that off. What are you, crazy?
Nah.
You're not in Mexico. Stop that.
That's over.
Like that's starting over with. And again, it's because of everything that Naito has done to his body, with all the people that he's wrestled over the years, with Ibushi, with Kenny, with AJ, with Nakamura, with Okada, with Hiroshi, with anyone else, and Jay White. A lot of people have broken this man, and he's broken himself to an extent. Like, come on. We all know that he's at that age where it's like, bro, I can't do this. I need WD-40 on my legs every time I move. Like, fuck. Again, it's the brotherly love. It's the companionship that these two have together as a team, as faction mates, and as opponents in that ring. That is what kept it alive for me, for TJ, for practically anyone else that really thought that the story told more in the match than the match itself. Because the match was methodical as shit. It was really slow. But I can't complain, because the story still sold me. For that, I'll give it good and 3/4. Main event for Wrestle Kingdom 19. Zack Sabre Jr. with going 1-on-1 against Shota Umino for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. The longest match of the night with 43 minutes and 44 seconds. Let's bring this home so we can get to the next event.
Yeah, I said it the night of. I say here, I don't think this match should have been 40 minutes. I can understand why it might have ended up having to be 40 minutes, but I do think that was somewhat to its detriment, because I think the beginning and end pieces were really well put together, and there were strong parts in the middle, but I do think that there were parts where they were clearly trying to stretch out the length and trying to, stretch out some pacing a little bit. But overall, I did like the story of what they were doing, in that, Zach's in the dome, he's main eventing now. He's trying to prove himself as not only the top gaijin in New Japan, but just as he's the champion. He is the man. He's supposed to be the leader now. So, and Shota is trying to prove himself that he belongs in this spot. He's trying to prove, that, like we talked about, the awful reaction he got in Ryogoku a couple months earlier. He's trying to shake that off and prove that he could be that performer. He got the big interest with the motorbike and all that. And again, in terms of that story, I do think that worked in him trying to step up to Zach and face his strikes and trying to face his transitions and submissions. I do think that Shota should work on his damn strikes, because if you're going to throw strikes for fucking 20 minutes in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom, they got to look a little better than that. But,
pussy?
Yeah. And Zach was definitely given to him at one point. Like, come on, you got to hit back harder than that. So, yeah. I do think in terms of, that story they were trying to tell, they overall succeeded. It's just, because the match was 40 minutes, I do think there was some fluff that sort of threw the pacing off a little bit. But overall, I think ultimately you do get out of this. Shota does come out of this looking like someone who can be that guy down the line. Like, I do think this sort of rerouted the course for Shooter a little bit, so to speak. And I think it proved that Zach could be a guy that you could put something on his shoulders and rely on him to close things out. Like, if like Kenny Omega on the press conference, and he always talks about how since he left, New Japan has essentially been looking for the guy that could replace him, that could fill his shoes as that top guy. And I think Zach stepped in tonight and proved that he could be that. So I'm going to give this match a highest of goods. The highest of goods. I think that had it been maybe 20, 25, maybe 30 minutes, it could have been a lot better. But for what it was, for where it landed, I do think they did an admirable job.
This was obviously like a pretty big mixed bag, due to the fact that, yes, it was this long. Yes, it was weird how they build this match going forward, because we all know in tradition, the winner of the G1 gets a shot at the title at Wrestle Kingdom. That briefcase, when Zach won the G1, he just abruptly broke tradition and cashed in his shit quickly, beat Naito, got the belt, and now we're thinking to ourselves, okay, so what's going to fucking happen going into Kingdom now? We don't have an opponent for Zach. Here comes Shota. So my thing is, like, this was abruptly booked because we had no main event going into this event. We had no world title match. And, I think literally this is what fucked everything up, was the fact that the briefcase had to be cashed in that early. I think if we could, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to say, oh, if Zach would have just waited, he would have won in the dome, and it would have been special. I get that, but it's also the same thing. Like, New Japan wants to make their fucking history, but at what cost? At what cost to make a fucking event feel so flat, This main event was just literally holds. It had wrestling in it, but there was mostly holds. And it tried to tell the story of how you're not ready, Shota, and your dad's there. And then all of a sudden, you become Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You're not getting what you want. So what do? You're proud of your dad, and you don't get what you want with your father. So you push him aside, and you're like, fuck you. So now you want to get into murder mode. I think you really should be a part of the Dick Riders if that's the case, man. Because you're literally having an identity crisis. I don't know what you are. And then after the whole thing in Ryugoku, I definitely didn't know what you were. Holy shit. Maybe when I talk about you later wrestling Claudio, I might change my mind. I don't fucking know. But goddamn, it was just like, even the crowd, when this man was trying to get the momentum back, they were still booing him. And they even gave him a moment of silence. And I'm just like, oh shit. Is this just because is this just character, or is this real? Is this a shoot from the Japanese crowd? Because they'll let you know when they don't like you. But again, if this match was like 33, if you shaved down 10 minutes, I would have been fine with it. But the fact that you went this long just to give it that sense of, we Tokyo Dome vibes. This is our main event. We're going to give you a huge match that's probably going to be really good. But at the same time, the crowd was like, yeah. And the crowd was, when you're trying to get your crowd to keep going, yeah, you can't have it just be, meh. And then it has to be just one thing. Can't do two at once because it's a fucking mixed bag. It can't work like that. Not hating on the main event. Still a pretty good match. But it was literally like, it was flat. It felt flat. To me, it was a flat match. Because of everything that they had to book to do this. I blame Gato. I could blame some of the people in New Japan. I could honestly put Tanahashi to blame for this as well. I don't blame Shota. I don't blame Zach. They were just in that weird position that they, that had to be forced into their hands. Shota had to be put in that position of you're not ready, trope. And again, New Japan it was all about for them making history. You know how like you buy a game and you realize it's a fucking cash grab and it means absolutely nothing. That's what this was. This was a cash grab to make history for Zack Sabre Jr. to close out the main event as the top Gaijin. Because we never had a Gaijin close out the show at Wrestle Kingdom ever. And then he's going to do it again in the next night. So, fuck. 3 3/4.
It's over.
Yeah. Let's just knock this out real quick. Wait. Oh, it's not on here. God damn it. All right. Well, best match of the night, worst match of the night for Wrestle Kingdom final grade before we get into the Dynasty.
Yeah, like I said, Suji and David Finlay was match of the night. And worst match of the night, I suppose, was fucking Tanahashi and Evil. Because, I mean, I'm not counting Despy and Doki. So, yeah, I guess Tanahashi and Evil just by virtue, process of elimination. But I didn't hate it. So, fair enough.
Overall grade for Kingdom?
Overall grade for Kingdom, I'm going to give it a solid B.
Yeah, so match of the night obviously is going to go to Shingo Takagi and Konosuke Takeshita on my end. Great hard-hitting match. I loved it. It was very, very entertaining for what they did. Man. Konosuke is an absolute powerhouse of a fucking wrestler. There's just no words to describe what he does in that fucking ring. It's so much fun. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like my best match tonight. Worst match tonight, I will literally have to say Hiroshi Tanahashi and Evil in that. lumberjack death match. I felt like it was just completely false advertising. I just got ripped off of a good time. I would have said Hiromu versus Naito, but you know, it was still good. But and again, man, age and injuries is what plagued that match, and also Wrestle Kingdom is what was plagued to a lot of injuries as well, because not a lot of people could have gotten on this card. Yuya Uemura was injured. You know, a lot of guys, you know, couldn't even participate. Master Wato was on here and he didn't even get a match, which was embarrassing.
He got killed. He got painted on and killed.
So yeah, overall grade for Wrestle Kingdom 19, I'm going to give it a B. It was a really good show, but you know, with everything that took place, you know, card lost in the shuffle, injuries plaguing the show, last minute stuff that had to be thrown in, it was just so out of whack. And I wish that they would have done better than what they had. And now we move forward on to Wrestle Dynasty, where 5 promotions are here to present an inaugural event of the century in the Tokyo Dome. Wow, this one dropped a lot, bro. The attendance was 16,300.
Well, yeah, you know the second day is always gonna draw less than the first, unless you have like a super big thing on day 2.
So we had 2 pre-show matches that take place. We had the Women's International Cup with Momo Watanabe representing Stardom, Willow Nightingale for AEW, Persevere for CMLL, and Athena for Ring of Persephone. Sorry, and Athena for Ring of Honor. Momo Watanabe won, defeating Athena by literally knocking her out with that damn bat.
Mm-hmm.
Which means she'll be getting a future Ring of Honor World Title shot against Athena soon. Sons of Texas, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara defeated the House of Torture Show and Yoshinobu Kanemaru for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship. That match is 9 minutes and 27 seconds. Those are the only 2 matches that took place within the kickoff. We open up the show officially with an 8-man lucha gauntlet. 4 wrestlers from New Japan and 4 from CMLL. Taiji Ishimori, Hechi Seto, Kosei Fujita, Soberano Jr., Master Wato, Mascarada Dorada, Titan, and El Desperado. This was 16 minutes and 23 seconds.
My favorite part of this, I mean, this was a great match. But my favorite part of this is when Despy comes out and everyone stops and they're all looking at him like, yeah, bring your ass down or you're the champion. We gonna fuck you up. And Echi Seto, of all people, just jumps up like, I'm taking your belt. You are not a junior heavyweight, Echi Seto. He know damn well he ain't no goddamn junior heavyweight. But Echi Seto was like, I want that belt. I want that belt. And they jumped Despy. And he had to take the heat for a minute. But otherwise, a super fucking fun match. An excellent lucha showcase. Like, again, similar to what I said with the women, but obviously these guys got a lot longer because it was a gauntlet match. But if you're unfamiliar with some of these guys and what they do, this was the perfect display of that and a perfect way of getting you educated so that you'll want to go in and find out more about these guys afterwards. So again, perfect opener for the show. I'm gonna give it some bars actually.
Oh man. And this is practically the only time that we only get to see CMLL wrestlers. Fucking shit.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Hold on. No, my baby monitor was about to die.
Oh, okay.
So I got to turn it off. Right. So yeah, and I'm gonna be talking about this a lot throughout the show. Is just, you know, so much for a Wrestle Dynasty, and it was really, you know, AEW New Japan with some of the special singles matches that we're going to be talking about going forward. This is just very, very bad that they did it this way, and I wish it was not like this. I wish we could get more of this highlighted instead of it being, 5 matches have to be AEW versus New Japan. For that, you could have just called it Collision in New Japan. Like Collision in Korea.
I don't necessarily disagree, but again, it is what it is, and we got to look at what we got instead of looking at what we didn't get.
It was still a fun match. It's nice to see Hechi settle in the Tokyo Dome. That's a big bonus for me. Like to see that guy go out there and do his stuff. And the fact that, that one moment where Despy's there and he's like, and then you see Hechi Settle come up and like, yeah, let's do it. I mean, when have we never seen a bunch of big guys go after the junior title? Shingo Takagi was the junior tag team champion.
That was fake.
I don't care. They still did it.
Man,
they still made that happen.
Hechi Settle, my boy. I wouldn't be mad if he won the junior title, but I would still look at him every time like, you rated junior.
New Japan would be willing to do some crazy shit like that. Either that or give it a Teton. Like, what the fuck? What are we doing at this point?
We can do that too. I love Teton. That's my boy.
There was just a lot of great lucha stuff here, and I enjoyed that a lot. Because I don't get to watch a lot of Fantastica Mania. So this just gave me a lot of Fantastica Mania highlights. Again, it's one of those where it's like, yeah, this is the only time that we're only going to see the CMLL guys because we never see them again after this shit.
Yeah. Well, I guess, watch Fantastica Mania. That's when you're really going to see more of them.
I think overall it was still a fun match. And Taiji Ishimori was the right choice. Because we got to start building up Dusty with the junior title after that flop that he had the fucking at Kingdom with Doki. So hopefully this is a big step going forward. I'm gonna give the match a solid good. It was okay for what they did. I can't really complain much.
No.
All right. Well, we got now Hiroshi Tanahashi going one-on-one with Katsuyori Shibata in a grappling rules exhibition match that ended in a time limit draw with 5 minutes on the clock. Go ahead, TJ. Ramble on.
Yeah. So they did a little bit of grappling, and then they just said, let's just fucking chop each other for the rest of this shit. And they just chopped each other. But the crowd loved it because, again, similar to Naito and Hiromu the prior night, what you really were looking at here is the history between these men. These are two of the musketeers of the past, the guys that were supposed to build this company up in the last generation, Tanahashi and Shibata. So to see them one more time wrestle in the Tokyo Dome, even if it was just a short situation like this, that's special. That's something special. That's something that, you want to hold on to. So, again, even if it was only a short exhibition and we didn't really get to see much of it, I still had a lot of fun with it. And again, I'm with Shibata. We need that for real, though. This was fun, but we need that for real. So, Mr. President, please come over to AEW where they actually let Shibata wrestle because they clearly are not going to let him have a full match in Japan. So, let's do it in AEW. But I'm going to give this a good. I'm going to give this flat out good.
Yeah, I think Tanahashi has one more forbidden door left in him. So can we do that? Can we do that, please?
Yes.
By the way, I'm still watching Battle at the Valley. Hiromu came out, and he's in his punk outfit. No drugs. Maybe because he can't walk down the stairs with that fucking outfit.
Yeah, he's like, let me not take any drugs tonight.
Yeah, let me not eat shit and break my nose in this fucking staircase while wearing that damn outfit.
Yeah, no drugs. I don't want to die for Sumi Sakai's last match.
Honestly, what did you grade this match again?
A good.
And hold on a sec. Jesus, I think I am. Oh, well, yeah, we're at the fucking Tanahashi Shibata match. All right. Well, it was a match. It was an exhibition. Go to AEW and do that there because it will actually be more better. Maybe you'll get headbutted a couple of times and realize you can't keep fucking wrestling forever. You need to stop. You don't have legs anymore. It was still pretty fun. Good exhibition for what they try to do. I can't really, hate the fact that it had to be that way because New Japan is so afraid of booking Shibata in a regular wrestling match. You didn't do that when he returned to face Ren Narita, you fucking pricks. Like, make common fucking sense on what you're trying to do here. I think 5 minutes of a straight wrestling match would have not hurt them in the long run. I don't understand why the word exhibition needed to be in it. Because look at what they did. They just fucking chopped. And if all they were going to do was just chop, just call it a fucking match.
Well, they do exhibitions because New Japan is clearly still skittish about booking Shibata in real matches. Even though, obviously, us watching him in America and watching him in AEW Ring of Honor, we know he can do full matches, but New Japan's still iffy about it. So,
well, New Japan are pussies, and they need to come across Nick Gage. All right,
you fucking pussies, let him wrestle.
I'm gonna give this a fucking bad. And so far, Tanahashi has been having a lot of bad matches going into 2025.
I'm enjoying our president.
I'm the one that's grading them, so I will enjoy our president when he's no longer, wrestling, when he actually has legs to walk.
I mean, he can walk. It's just, the wrestling part of that is difficult.
I forgot. Who is Sumi Sakai teaming up with? Is she teaming up with Evil and Ren? Oh, where's she with the House of Torture shit? Oh, let's go. Let's go. I'm with it on the House of Torture shit. I want more chaos.
Sumi Sakai, why you do this?
If Goldberg joins the House of Torture, maybe TJ will like the faction more.
Hell no. Hell no.
Okay, Mina Shirakawa versus Mercedes Moné. This is for the AEW TBS Championship along with the Rev Pro British Women's Championship and whatever other belt Mina had in her possession. Also, something Queen of the South.
Yeah.
This match was, how long was this match again?
14 minutes.
Yeah, this was 14 minutes and 6 seconds. Go ahead, TJ, ramble on.
I like this match a lot. They had an early game plan early. Mina worked Mercedes' leg, which obviously impacted Mercedes' move, like, the meteors and the top rope things. Like, at one point, she couldn't even climb up to the top because of the work Mina had done on her leg. She did the ring post figure 4 and all that. Like, probably one of the more, locked in and focused technical Mina performances, which I think gelled well with Mercedes. But again, they when like I said, when Mina locks in and locks in as a limb worker, it works, especially because Mercedes is such a great bumper and seller. Like when it comes down to it, Mercedes can bump and sell her ass off and make her opponent's offense look really good. So I thought these two had a very, very strong clash and something that obviously I think could set up for a future match. Obviously, they both have time in the US and AEW, so I think they can come back to it. And clearly at the end, it seemed like we're going to come back to it because Mercedes offered the handshake. Mina rejected it as if to say, I'm not done with you. I still want to wrestle you again. So they're going for a belt collective thing with Mercedes, I guess. So we'll see how that goes down the line. I think Mercedes in the last few months, basically since she started wrestling Japanese girls again, has been back on her game in a tremendous way. That's... If Mercedes ever hits a perceived slump, send her to Japan. She will get back on track right away. She loves working out there, clearly. She like she said, it's always been her dream to actually work out there before even going to WWE or anything like that. And that bears fruit every time she works out there. So I'm going to give this a high goods. Highest of goods. Fuck you, Evil. Stop the bullshit.
I think I like the Harajuku girl more in Japan than in North America, honestly.
I mean,
have her wrestle all the fucking Joshi women. Just have her wrestle the Joshi women. I was like, at this point, Just fucking get her out of AEW. Just leave her in Japan. She is so fucking great over there. I seriously tell myself that Mercedes Moné would have better matches if she was not in fucking North America. Because I'm getting sick of this bullshit with her in North America. Like in Japan, it's like I don't need.
Let's not act like you didn't just have great matches with Chris
In Japan, no. I do agree with that. But I'm talking about in character. In Japan, I feel like I don't have to talk about the same old bullshit that I talk about her when I see her on AEW.
I will agree with you that she's more natural as a character in Japan. I will agree with you.
Yes, that's why I call her the Harajuku girl, because she fits that mold perfectly. You know, she comes out here, you know, cosplaying as Sailor Monet and shit. Everyone's fucking over with her. Everybody actually likes her there. She has personality. She pops with style and fashion, and she's great in that fucking ring. Like, I get it. When we saw her debut in the Tokyo Dome a few years ago, we were a little mixed on it because, one, it looked like she was drinking a bit when she slurred her words. Two, she fucked up her finisher, which I'm kind of glad she improved it instead of having it into a DDT combination. It's just a regular old, like, flatliner. So
she was nervous.
I'm fine with that. And that could be the case, too. But, you know, a lot of people went out of their way and did their research, said, oh, she had a bit too much to drink, which I don't blame her because, you know, FCR was in that position as well. So, yeah, again, this is one of those matches where I can tell myself this is the competitiveness that I need to see in Mercedes Moné a whole lot more in Japan than in the U.S. Like, I feel like the U.S., I'm looking at a cocky gimmick that I don't really need to see on my TV, but when I watch her here, it's like I don't really need to turn this off because she's not really doing much. She's just there to wrestle.
The difference is she's produced less in Japan. That's all it really is. Like,
yeah,
she's produced less, which I think they should look at that in AEW. And all right, we don't need to add as much production ticks to her. Just let her go.
There's one thing that I could say with Mercedes Moné's arsenal. She has been very swift, very agile with her stuff. It's literally like, you know, you combine speed, chain submission holds, and everything else. It's very impressive that she takes the time and day out of her schedule whenever she's traveling somewhere to go find a ring and train and improve and improve and improve. And that's one thing that I can actually respect about Mercedes, and that's what makes her a great competitor, is the fact that she improves on her skill set every fucking time. She's not out there doing the same shit every fucking week. She's not. She's doing a lot of new things that she would probably want to keep as her own. And that's one thing that I could say I respect for Mercedes. I want to see more of it. If she's going to be sticking around in Japan more, can we get more of this, please? And more important, just do more than AEW. Bars. Fucking bars. Bars and a quarter. Nah. Bars and a quarter. This match is great. It was great. I enjoyed it. Like, this and the IWGP Women's Heavyweight Championship match were amazing. And the fact that the women got to compete twice in a row on the main card of the Tokyo Dome is just fucking astounding.
Women had a good weekend.
They had a very good weekend, and we were absolutely impressed with the performances that they did. You know, big ups to the women that did what they needed to do. Much love and respect. David Finlay goes one-on-one with Brody King. This is basically the start of the AEW New Japan chain rivalry. This is match number 1. This match was 12 minutes and 53 seconds. Go ahead, TJ, ramble on.
Yeah, I like this a lot. Finlay, shout out to David Finlay, man. We're talking about a guy who had a good weekend. He had a great weekend. Bumped his fucking ass off for Brody King here, who, man, Brody's a special dude, man. He has such dynamic, super fun offense. Like, the way he fucking throws, like he shit. By the end of, like, the crowd was kind of, you know, unknown element. They were kind of getting used to him as the early match going, but by the end, he's doing the barking and they're getting with it. They're getting with the who. Like, Brody King got over pretty fucking quick just by being a fucking monster, dynamic beast out there. and David Finlay worked perfectly up to that. But again, get your stocks up in David Finlay because this guy had a great performance over the course of this weekend, and I definitely hope to see Brody King back in Japan and wrestling some like give me Brody King versus Ishii in fucking a Japanese ring. I want to see that. I want to see that. Shit, get him against Oleg too. I want to see that too. I'm gonna give this a high good.
Yeah, yo, another one. David Finlay stealing it here. You know, having his moment in Tokyo Dome once again. Now with Brody King having his big moment in the Tokyo Dome. This was his first match ever. There was a post that he put on IG. Said that one of his dreams was to go and wrestle in the Tokyo Dome. And, you know, for all that work that he's done in the New Japan dojo, in the LA dojo, especially being a part of New Japan Strong for all that time, I think this was well earned. This was rightfully earned. I'm happy that Tony Khan gave him the opportunity to go out there and fulfill his dream.
Yeah.
You know, not a lot of people could fucking go out there and say, I got to wrestle in the fucking Tokyo Dome and I get to live to tell that tale. Not a lot of people could say that, but Brody King can. It's opportunities like that that get your momentum up more. Even if you lost the match against Finlay, your name is going to be synonymous of the fact that you wrestled in the inaugural Wrestle Dynasty event in the fucking Tokyo Dome.
Yeah, you never take that away from you.
Exactly. And I think that's really what was more important here. The fact that Brody King wanted to have a historical moment. The fact that he wanted something that he could share with his child, that he could tell his child, like, remember when I got to wrestle here, you were there, and you got to see your dad go and compete against one of the greatest to ever live. That tells a tale. And I think the match overall was not the focal point. I think the tale was. And I'm happy that Brody King got to, you know, fulfill that purpose. He could retire right here and now and say, I did it. I wrestled the Tokyo Dome. I can go be a father, go be a family man for the rest of my life. I don't have to do this anymore. But he's going to keep going because he loves this shit. I honestly agree that David Finlay put on one stellar performance here. He put on the role where you have to really look like you're going to die because a big man is beating your ass.
Yes.
So it was nice to know that he was willing to sell for this man. He was willing to make him look good. Man, he was willing to make him look like $1 million in the Tokyo Dome. And honestly, the crowd really loved Brody King. I think he should be another guy that should come back more.
I agree.
So yeah, I'm going to give this a 3.5 because, you know, David Finlay did his job, which was make Brody King look good, and Brody King looked good in the Tokyo Dome. No, without a shadow of a doubt. I can honestly say that. Again, it's him being a part of that event is what was the goal, and I think that right there is what could honestly sell people into a dream. And I'm happy that he got to fulfill that. All right, well, we got Shota Umino going one-on-one with Claudio Castagnoli. Match number 2 of New Japan versus AEW. This was 14 minutes and 31 seconds. Go ahead, TJ Ramble on.
Yeah, I thought this was okay. Like the story here was clearly Claudio more or less, I guess you could say, punishing Shooter for, you know, because again, like we've talked about before, Shooters has been connected to Mox and such in the past and things of that nature. So Claudio was sort of an emissary of the Dick Riders here to punish Shooter. But again, I think following his performance the prior night and the way they booked his comeback here, which was pretty much to sort of eke out the win after that, I don't think that was the proper move. Like, if you were going to have him beat Claudio, I think you should have had him more definitively beat Claudio. Like, I think that's what Shota needs at this point. I think he needs definitive, strong-looking wins if you're going to continue to want to push him up the card in this position. Because at the end, the crowd wasn't really feeling him eking out a win that way. So again, I think they got to go to the, not necessarily the drawing board, but they gotta evaluate where they're going with Shooter and what his future is, because I don't think having him eke out these heel type of wins is going to enhance his character out here. So I'm gonna give it a goods, solid goods.
Yeah, there's an identity crisis going on with Shooter at this point, and I'm literally confused because I thought we were looking at what could be the top face of the company, pushing New Japan into the future, going into 10 years. But it's more like the crowd just turned their back against him, and they're like, "Fuck you! We don't like you! Blah blah blah! Go home, Umino Shota!" And it's like, well, I mean, can't, because his dad works for the company, so his dad he needs, like, I'm sorry, but it's this whole thing with his character is very confusing. It's so I'm not getting it. I'm really not. You can pull out all the fucking Harley Davidsons you want, I'm still not gonna get what you're trying to pull. I'm not getting what Gato is trying to envision in Shota Umino. For that, if he is being hated by the crowd, hey, how about we utilize that instead of having him come out in a white outfit? How about a black one? Or how about, I mean, again, he had the match with Claudio and he was pulling out all the heel tactics, and it's like, can we fucking utilize that? Why is he still coming out looking like a babyface with cardboard championship belts that he was made from a cereal box?
He's a backyarder.
Why is that? I mean, call him a backyard. That just felt really goofy. But it's like, bro, if we know, and if we're telling you, Gato, this babyface shit is not working, and everyone in the crowd is not really digging this run with Shota, I think it's time to switch it up. And you should have switched it up on the 4th. You should have done something here. Let me tell you right now, a cheap win doesn't mean he's the ultimate heel. That don't make no fucking sense. I understand that we have to make him look strong so that he won't get his ass whipped by the pussy dick riders and shit, because reasons we're trying to save him from Mox. But whatever. Let it be necessary. I don't think it's going to hurt Claudio and the fact that he lost, because I heard the promo that he cut. He respected him. But it's also like, he's not done with you, my nigga.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to tell you like you tell everybody else. Let them cook. I'm going to give it a good. Yeah. Next match. Oh, man, this is another one that was like for fucking winner take all. Oh, another AEW New Japan match. Inosuke Takeshita defending his brand new never open weight championship in the AEW International title against Tomohiro Ishii. Tomohiro Ishii was in line waiting to see who was going to be facing him in this event, and he had his opponent. And Don Callis is here as well, but still staying in the corner like a good little Canadian boy, you carny piece of shit.
Yes.
This was 13 minutes and 30 seconds. Go ahead, TJ Ramblemania.
Motherfucking Big Tom. Tomohiro Ishii. He don't miss, man. He just, all he does is go out and have great fucking matches all the time. It's all he knows how to do. He doesn't know how to have a bad match. He doesn't even know how to have an okay match. He just goes out and has great matches all the time. And him and Takeshita just went out and bombed on each other, man. Like, you could almost say it was reminiscent of the Ishii Shibata matches where they just go in and throw off the rip. Like,
more than that, like Ishii Suzuki matches too.
Mm-hmm. Like, just two guys going back and forth, bombing Fry Takayama style. Like, excellent stuff, man. Excellent stuff. Again, they played off of As you should have, because that was a memorable ass spot. The one spot in AEW where Takeshita just knocked Ishii the fuck out with one forearm. He tried it again. Ishii came back this time. It was like, you got to try harder than that this time, young blood. Hit him with top rope Branas and everything. Like, up to this point, match of the night. Then something happened later on. But absolutely fantastic match. Fucking bars. Clean bars. And a half, in fact. Bars and a half.
Another GOAT indeed for Konosuke fucking Takeshita. Oh my god. Yes, I'm giving this one a GOAT too. This one was another one. Like anything you have with Tomohiro Ishii when it comes to forearms, chops, elbows, German suplexes, back suplexes galore, everyone landing on their fucking heads. It's just a spectacle of a match. Knowing that these two men can still keep going and going and going and going. It was basically a chain of events that was taking place. You saw one hard hit, no sell, another hard hit, no sell, a crazy like suplex with no sell, another crazy suplex with a no sell. They were doing a lot of no sells here. And the crazy thing is, the crowd was fully vested in this whole shit. Like I don't think I ever heard the crowd so excited ever. They clapped at everything. It was super fun. Super fucking fun. Very hard hitting. Dude, again, it's one of those where it's like, how did any of these guys not walk away with any welts, bruises? How are no teeth falling out of their fucking mouths? And more importantly, where is the blood? Again, it's one of those where I tell myself, my fucking God, what absolute storytelling you could have by just these two competing in the ring. You don't have to make a story in weeks of build when the build is right there in that match. It was amazing. That's why it's getting a GOAT. Konosuke Takeshita, once again, back to back with both events. GOAT with Shingo Takagi and a GOAT here for fucking Ishii. My God. And yeah, and I agree with you. This was the match of the night until something else came to play. So, yeah. This was my other GOAT. And the next match that we have is another New Japan versus AEW. This time a three-way tag team match for the vacant IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. The Young Bucks make their return to the Tokyo Dome for the first time in fucking 5 years. They go up against Great Khan and Jeff Cobb of the United Empire and Los Ingobernables de Japón, the World Tag League winners, Naito Tetsuya and Takahashi Hiromu of Los Ingobernables de Japón. This was 13 minutes and 46 seconds. Go ahead, TJ, ramble on.
Talk about people that get rejuvenated working in Japan. The Young Bucks look like the 2018 Young Bucks in here.
Yep.
I knew they'd look good, but damn, they look great. The Young Bucks fucking were the stars of this match, pretty much. And I mean, aside from the fact that they won, like they just looked great. Obviously the multi-man tag setting also worked for Hiromu and Naito because, you know, like we talked about the prior night, their physicality, you can't do as much these days. So
age, fatigue, injuries.
So a tag team environment better facilitates that where, you know, Naito can pop in and out, do some spots, go back on the apron and rest. Same for Hiromu. We can pop in, do some spots, get on the apron and rest. Meanwhile, you got Great Khan and Jeff Cobb, who can obviously work the full thing and who are perfect opponents for the Young Bucks, who, you know, are flip-flopping, flying around, and Jeff Cobb can do the power spots, and Khan can, you know, fight them off in the babyface fashion. So, yeah, I like this match a lot. Again, took me back to when the Young Bucks worked here on the regular back in the day. The crowds were even kind of into them. They were getting Young Bucks chants and all that. So, a very good match. Very good to see the Young Bucks just jump back to form and become the Bucks of old, essentially, and show that they definitely still got it. So I guess we'll see what happens with them as IWGP Tag Team Champions. I'm going to give this highest of goods.
Hiromu just gave Sumi Sakai her his jacket.
Yeah, they give her flowers, and she's addressing the crowd.
Love it. Yeah, no, everybody's surrounding the ring right now, patting it down, paying their respects.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it, man. I'm happy Young Wolf is getting to experience this. I mean, he has this habit of complaining about, why do I always get the final matches of the... Bro, share them, enjoy the moment. You're going to have a tearjerker. It's like the ending of Dragon Ball GT.
Yeah, this is, again, like we said before, Sumi Sakai, an absolute legend of pro wrestling. She deserves all the love and respect, so big shout out to her.
Just hope and pray you get the chance to meet her in person before you go home.
Shit, everybody probably will be trying to. So
shit, man. All right, so did I ever tell you how much I love the Young Bucks in Japan?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. This needed to happen. This was the Young Bucks that I wanted for years. I mean, despite everything that they were going through, this is the one time that I honestly say I'm not going to sit here and talk shit about the Young Bucks and everything that took place and blah, 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 because that's dead. That's over with. We moved on now. But now we're in Japan. And this is where I can honestly say this is where I miss the Young Bucks in their prime. And they felt like they were back in their prime here. Yeah, 5 years later, it still feels like they haven't missed a beat. The crowd fucking loved them, even though they were the fucking heels going into this event.
Yeah.
It's one of those where it's like, yeah, I think we should have the Young Bucks go back to Japan more because they were over in Japan because of their style, because of their work. The crowd loved every minute of it. And let's be honest. With them getting their second run as the heavyweight tag team champions, we're going to be seeing a lot more of them in Japan, more likely. And hell, we might actually see them defend them on AEW shows, let alone pay-per-views.
Maybe.
I mean, if you want to make these the heavyweight tag team division in New Japan feel special, that too, we got to start having them go to the shows and defend the belts like how they were before. Let's bring back the New Japan Young Bucks work ethic that they were doing nonstop, frivolously. It was enjoying. It was entertaining. It got us on the edge of our seats every time we wanted to watch a Young Bucks match in Japan. I don't want to emphasize that so much because now I'm sounding like Bandit Keith in America.
In America.
I am a little miffed over the fact that, yes, they won. It is a mixed bag. A lot of people did not want that to happen. I kind of wanted to see it happen because what the fuck? Why not? And yeah, the tag team division is going through its dark days in New Japan. They're not really utilizing them that much. The fact they gave them to the Young Bucks, it's like, yeah, okay, whatever, why not? Let's just let's have fun with it and see what happens. I'll give the match a good because it was still pretty fun. I like Great O'Khan. I like Jeff Cobb. Yeah, it's LIJ is just, fatigue, age, injuries. That it's what's plaguing them, literally, and it's just two of them. Everyone else is fine. It's two of them that's plaguing them badly. And it's crazy from them. If it seems like going forward, because I know I want to see a heel turn come out of this, but it also feels like Naito's passing the torch to Hiromu, thinking he might be the one to lead LIJ going forward. Yeah. But I don't know. We just have to see what happens. Next match. Jack Perry goes one-on-one with Where in the World is fucking Yoda Tsuji for the IWGP Global Force Heavyweight Championship. This shit was 13 minutes and 12 seconds. Go ahead, TJ Ramblon.
Yeah, Jack Perry has got a similar issue to Yoda Tsuji, where he's gotta kind of have, not Yoda Tsuji, Shota Umino, to where he's got a identity crisis of sorts in Japan and hasn't really found his way of connecting with the crowd yet. So, it's not really paying off in his matches so far. Like they wrestled well. Like these two they had good exchanges. They told the fine story, and it was as a match itself in a vacuum, it was totally fine, but the heat wasn't there. That's the main problem with Jack Perry in Japan so far. The heat hasn't been there. Like there's little instances where it's there, but overall, shit. Put him and Shooter. Let them put their heads together, try to work out how they can figure this shit out, because it's a situation where they're not really clicking the way they need to be clicking. Especially considering how well Yota Tsuji clicks. That guy's a fucking star. So if you don't come out of a match with him getting good reactions, then you've got to reevaluate. So I'm gonna give this a high bet.
Again, I'm still gonna go with that theory. It's like, he's the Briscoe brothers in New Japan Syndrome. He's just not over in that promotion. If he would have went somewhere else, I would say DDT, maybe Noah, make a name for himself there. I think the gimmick would have made more sense in another promotion than New Japan. Now, my thing was that, when we put him in House of Torture, he just, he felt like the fucking fly on the wall. It's like that black gang that has that one white guy in their gang.
He was the token white boy.
Yeah, that's what Jack Perry was. He was basically the white boy of that Japanese gang. And it's like, what? That don't really make any sense, but whatever. Y'all want to run with it? Go ahead, cool. I don't give a fuck. But again, it's one of those where I couldn't sit there and be invested in what they're trying to do with him, because the crowd is just not into him. Not saying that he's boring. Not saying that he sucks. It's just the Japanese crowd know what they like and what they don't like. And if they don't like Jack Perry, then that's them. That's their opinion. That's how they're going to react. There was not really a lot of reaction going into this match as well. This match was a bit of a slump. And I'm not going to go out of my way and say it was a disappointment and it sucks. And, no, they just did it because last minute. Whatever. I get it. There was that rumor going around that not a lot of people wanted to fly out to the Tokyo Dome. They didn't want to. Not one of the big main eventers in AEW wanted to go to the Tokyo Dome. I think that's bullshit. I'm
not here to entertain rumors.
I think MJF would have been the perfect person to go to the Tokyo Dome and compete, but with his character and the way he reacts, like, he don't give a fuck about New Japan. I just see it as if, like, but I'll say that when we talk about it overall. This whole match, I just felt lost, and that match was putting me into a slump. I was dozing in and out. I tried to be invested for what they could have done here, but it just wasn't enough for me to give it the grade that I'm going to give it, which is a fucking bad. Because I like Yota Tsuji. I think he could have carried this match up to potential, but, it's Jack Perry. And if the crowd don't like you, they don't fucking like you out there. And it's either something that you need to work on, or it's something that the promoters need to fucking work on. So I'm sorry. I'm hoping that this is the last time. You know what? I think what would benefit him more? If he just stuck around with the Young Bucks. If he sticks around with the Young Bucks in New Japan and, he's there a lot more, I think it won't hurt him in the long run. Just don't put him in any singles matches that we all know we're not going to really be interested in. Because the crowd will not be invested. So, yeah, bad. All right, bro, I think it's time we talk about it. Because it's finally about to happen. Motherfucking Gabe Kidd versus Kenny by God Omega.
All right, I'll compact this.
31 minutes and 55 seconds.
Kenny Omega came out, got the big entrance, looked like a megastar, the god of professional wrestling, returned into his kingdom. Then Gabe Kidd came out in his fucking New Japan tracksuit, and the crowd said, yes, as a matter of fact, we pick you. You are the one representing this company. And they booed Kenny Omega. They booed Kenny Omega in his return match. So that set the tone for what ended up being an incredible match, because Kenny reads that reaction and says, well, then, okay, I'll be the heel. Like, you could obviously, like, Gabe, the story of this match is very clear. Gabe Kidd is the man wearing his shit on his back now. Like many of the men who have come before him since Kenny Omega has departed, he wants to be the one, the Gaijin, to wear the New Japan crest on his back and carry the company into the future. And like guys like Ospreay before him, he feels he has to beat Kenny Omega to do it. And this time, the crowd fully believes in him in that cause. They're fully behind him in that cause. So it leads to this excellent story and struggle in which Gabe is essentially fighting his ass off to prove his mettle in that sense. Meanwhile, Kenny is trying to prove his mettle in the sense that, am I still the Kenny Omega of the past? Can I still be the best bout machine? Can I still be that Kenny Omega? And as the match goes on, he proves that not only can he still be that Kenny Omega, since I can still be that Kenny Omega, I'm going to kill his fucking kid. And off they go. It, like an incredible fight, incredible fucking violence, the table bumps, the blood, the fighting spirit, everything that went into this match was absolutely incredible. Kenny Omega is, I've said it before, I'll say it again, one of the best ever. He's one of the best wrestlers of all time. And he showed that once again in this match. You take a fucking over a year off due to diverticulitis to come on and put on a match like this. How can you not be one of the best wrestlers of all time? Are you crazy? Like, and then Gabe Kidd had a star-making performance here. This was a star-making performance. This is the performance that you look at when a guy has his career down the line and he's achieved all the things that he wants to achieve. And you're like, when was the match where you knew this guy was the guy? For Gabe Kidd, this is that match. Tanahashi crying at the end of it. Just art. Art. Pro wrestling is art. Go. Match of the night, match of the weekend, match of the year candidate, whatever you want to say. Just an absolutely incredible match. Go.
I've never seen a man more war ready in my life than Gabe Kidd. I've watched this man's career in What Culture Pro Wrestling when this man was just a wee lad. Looked like he got bullied in school every day, bro. Oi, dickhead, I'm the bully now. Fuck you, fucking what? I'll murder you. I'll fucking kill you. This is why I said Gabe Kidd is basically the guy that you do not want to come across in an online game of Call of Duty because he will fucking threaten your life.
I maybe for your fucking IP. Fuck.
Get your fucking IP address. I'll tell you where I fucking live, and I'll tell you to come down here, and I'll break your fucking legs. That's Gabe Kidd in a fucking nutshell. The transition when he joined Bullet Club is vicious. It's ferocious. It is probably the most vile thing that I've ever seen in him, and I fucking love every minute of it. We need vile people in wrestling like Gabe Kidd that just have zero fucks to give. That just absolute mad. Talk about madman. The reason why he's calling himself a madman is because of what he did to the Mad King.
Yeah.
Everything that you've done to Eddie Kingston is the exact same reason why you're going out there calling yourself a fucking madman, bruv. This whole fucking shit. First of all, the entrance. Honestly, this nigga should have came out to the original, to the fucking intro to DMX's first album. You want to talk about War Ready? That entrance just screams War Ready for Gabe Kidd. My word. Takes off the tracksuit, knowing one side has Bullet Club, but the rumors are going around that he too might be leaving. Psych. There goes the New Japan logo, knowing that he's going to be stuck there for good. He wants to be the one to carry that mantle. And I watched the press conference. Kenny Omega said, yo, get your eyes on this kid, guys. He's fucking something. He's becoming something that not a lot of people want to see him become. And it's getting scary because look at what they just did. They put on the performance of a lifetime. Gabe Kidd in his peak right now. The young, like right now in his prime, whatever age that he's in his fucking prime. He's going out there putting on matches that could fucking tell tales, that could be passed around in DVDs and Blu-rays going into the next generation. The fact that you had our president fucking crying after what could have been an art form of a match that was painted in a fucking canvas.
It's real shit.
It literally told us one thing's for certain. One was the heel, one was the baby face. And if you're out there repping New Japan, you're the one that we're cheering for. You had your time, Kenny. Now get booed. Get bent. But you're winning still. I don't really fucking know why I said all that. But you got booed. So it had to be that way. It had to be that way because guess what? Gabe Kidd is the cool heel that everybody fucking loves. The fact that you made the president cry is going to get 10 Tanahashi heads crying.
Fair. 10 crying presidents.
Because, yo, I watched it again. And then I cried. And I'm watching it now. And I want to cry. But I don't want to. Because then I'm going to wake my kid up. And then Amanda's going to yell at me. And then, shit gets real. And then keeping it real goes wrong.
Yes, you know what?
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. And then the main event. Fucking Zack Sabre Jr. defending the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against Mr. Bland and Boring.
Come on, you can't call it bland and boring after a match like this, man.
No, wait. Let me say what I need to say first.
All right.
And then I'll probably stop. Match was 20 minutes and 57 seconds. Let's finally bring this one home, man.
All right. This is not my match of the night. Obviously, Kenny and Gabe is, but like I'm almost a little more impressed with this because of the fact that they knew what they had to follow. So they went out with the intention, like, all right, let's do this. Ricochet in particular, like he came out like a house of fire in this match. He pretty much came out with the intention of, I'm not going to get left in the dust. I know what I'm following, but you're going to pay attention to this. You're going to see me in this match with Zack, and you're going to see me as a legitimate challenger. And he and Zack went out and had a great match. This was a great main event. It was hard hitting. They had a lot of great technical counters. I thought Ricochet, in terms of his physicality melding with his flippiness, was some of the best he's done since he's, been out of the Fed. Like, this was a really, really, really fucking great match, I thought. Like, and if it hadn't followed Kenny and Gabe, I think people would be talking about it more because, like, damn. I thought Zack had a great performance here. Like, the strike exchanges with Ricochet in this match felt like the strike exchanges he was trying to have with Shooter in the last match, but they weren't connecting as much. But they were connecting here because Ricochet was able to match his physicality properly. So, again, I thought just excellent work from both of these guys, seizing a moment. Like, it almost reminded me of Willow and Chris Statlander from, I believe, Full Gear this year. Or no, All Out, yeah. All Out.
No, yeah, all out, of course.
Yeah, where they had to follow a crazy match and did it with aplomb. Like, I have a real affinity for when guys pretty much or girls follow an incredible match of the year candidate type match and do it to such a high degree like this. So major respect to Zach and Ricochet for what they did in this main event. And shit, if you weren't into the Zach and Shooter match, then I think this was the dome main event that you might have wanted and you got. So I'm gonna give this a bars.
Honestly, if they did the match like this at Kingdom, I don't think I would have not given it a mixed bag review than what I'm going to give here, because this was way better. This was actually, superly entertaining. I understand that. Okay, last minute changes. We had to add this on here because, more history needed to be made. Zach now wanted to main event back-to-back nights and be victorious. Now he got to do it. Once again, historic moment that you're never going to take away from the fucking Gaijin.
Yes.
So I'm actually pretty astounded and happy that they are letting Zack Sabre Jr. achieve this historic moment. The match overall was actually very competitive and very good. And the fact that Ricochet brought the heel shit over here to the Kingdom, to fucking Dome, was super fun. Ricochet gets to pull out all the extra shit that he hardly got to do in the E at the time. And again, he got booed, which was great. People actually remember him for everything that he's done around like 2016, 2018 before he left to go to the E. So it's nice to see him back. With this heel run, I think he'll be a better chance. He'll survive in New Japan more. Just don't put him in any factions. Don't. We don't need that right now. It's just like New Japan is like there's no more vacancies for factions at this point. We don't need anyone to be joining anything else. After Sonata joined Bullet Club, that was it. No more.
I know you think about putting him in the House of Torture Gator. Don't you fucking do it. Don't you dare.
Don't put that man next to fucking TJ Dick Togo. What are you, crazy?
don't put Ricochet next to Dick Togo, goddammit.
Look. I think now, after this match, this will make Zack Sabre Jr. feel like a legitimate competitor as the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. Because the main event at Kingdom did not make him feel like a fighting champion. It felt lackluster. It felt lazy. And they just did stuff to do stuff because they had all this time to do it. And again, I need to remind people that we didn't bring this up. The only reason that practically why they got most of that time was, remember, the Junior Heavyweight Championship match got cut due to an injury. So that's probably why they were allotted with this time. And with this here, I think, honestly, this is why I said this probably should have been done at Kingdom with the 20 minutes, and we would have went home happy. I can't complain. I enjoyed the hell out of the match. I think Ricochet in the Dome was great. I want to see more of this heel run because I'm actually invested, and I'll stop calling him bland and boring because he's actually out there murdering people. But then again, you can't just have every wrestler going out there murdering people all the time. You need to do something different. You got Jon Moxley doing that. You got, other people out there doing murder stuff. We can't do that for every wrestler.
Well, he's Patrick Bateman.
Let's blend it out. Let's blend it out a bit. All right. Get rid of the serial killer sunglasses. You don't fucking need them. All you got to do is just start looking vicious and start looking serious.
They're not even shades. They're regular spectacles, regular glasses.
That's what I'm saying. Get rid of them just because, dude, it just, we need to make you look serious. Those glasses are not going to make you serious because it just looks like you're cosplaying the next serial killer.
They make them look like a serial killer, like a psycho.
But we have serial killers and psychos already. And
the Death Riders, they're corny. They're corny. I'm fucking more.
So are you saying the Dick Riders are the House of Torture of AEW?
They're becoming it.
Yo, bars and a quarter for this match. Super fun. Super fucking fun. This is really all I could say about it because, again, there was really not enough build to this. And if there was more build to this going forward, it probably would have gotten a higher grade. But, again, this was an inaugural event. And the only reason why I'm going to get to what I have to say for the end, because it is kind of factual. you'll understand why I'm a little mixed with this whole show going forward. All right, so match of the night, worst match of the night, final grade overall for Wrestle Dynasty. Let me put this damn track on here since we don't have the Ramblytics. I'll put this one on. We're officially about to bring it home.
Like I said, match of the night, easily Kenny Omega, Gabe Kidd. Like I said, match of the night, match of the weekend, match of the year candidate. It was incredible. Worst match of the night, again, process of elimination thing, but Yota Tsuji and Jack Perry, just, you know, a fine wrestling match. They didn't do anything wrong in the ring. Just, you know, the heat wasn't there. They got to reevaluate what they're doing with Jack Perry when they send him to Japan. Overall grade for the show, I'm actually going to give it a B plus A minus. I thought this was a really good show. I thought it was slightly better than Kingdom, just because it had the Kenny match and the main event popped off stronger. So, yeah, the top half of the card balanced out very nicely. And again, while, you know, I know what you're going to say, Hazel, in terms of the distribution throughout the companies. And I do agree in the sense that hopefully if they continue to do future Wrestle Dynasties, that there are more, I guess, single showcase matches for Echiseto or a Mystico or, you know, something like, you know, maybe send Lee Moriarty over there for a pure title defense.
Also, more importantly, too, because, you know, only Japan has been doing this a lot and Mexico, too, but AEW was rarely doing it. Advertisement. Advertise the fucking show, guys.
AEW needs to talk to WB next year, because the reason they didn't advertise it is because they couldn't because of their deal with WB. But they got to realize, or WB has to realize, that they're a partner company. So it doesn't hurt your WB business to have AEW promote another company's business. It's going to help you, in fact, because it's going to swing the views back around to you. So I think Tony should explain that to the WB suits next year so that they can promote it. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
What'd you grade it again?
A minus.
All right. Yeah, it's unanimous. Best match tonight was Kenny Omega, Gabe Kidd. Oh my fucking god, what a goddamn match. Incredible
match.
If this is not on anybody's top 10 of 2025, you're not a wrestling fan, you're just a sports entertainment fan. All right? Go somewhere with yourself. Seriously, the fuck. Just throughout the process of elimination, I will honestly say that yes, Yota Tsuji and Jack Perry was the worst match of the night, only because of the way it was booked. I would have just said, hey, fucking Hiroshi Tanahashi and Shibata will get it, but nobody lost, and it was a draw, so they just gave us something just to give us something. Yeah, overall, the big issue that I have is next year, you know, let's not make this feel like a Forbidden Door show. That's what June is for, assholes. Most of your matches here were just AEW and New Japan. Like, the fact that the fucking Fatal 4-Way stuff, the women's shit was on the 0 hour, and the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles had to be on the 0 hour. Mind you, that was the only belt they brought in to be defended, and it's like you have all these other promotions. Why isn't CMLL defending any of their belts? Why isn't Stardom defending any of their belts? Why is it only New Japan AEW? Like, we gotta stop that, guys. The focal point is not just All Elite Wrestling and New Japan. There are 3 other promotions that exist here besides those 2. But the whole focal point with the special singles matches and the tag was AEW versus New Japan. Just call it Forbidden Door 3 if that's what you wanted to do. Next year, let's start getting some of these other promotions their own special singles matches. Let's get them highlighted. Let's get them utilized. Let's introduce them to people who's never met them before, and not put them in multi-man matches because you don't have nothing better to do for yourselves and you don't want to add more in your fucking card. So you give it an A-. Honestly, for me, It gets a B minus. I would have given it a C, but Gabe Kidd and Kenny Omega stole the fucking show.
He's crazy.
So yeah, it gets a B minus, all because of that little, not even little, that fucking error, that noticeable error that everyone just fucking ignored.
What error?
The whole, again, I just said it. We're not fucking booking any of the other fucking promotions.
I wouldn't consider, like, I understand what you mean, and I don't disagree, but I wouldn't consider that an error. Like, it's just the way the cookie crumbled, so to speak.
Let's just hope next year they fix that up and it becomes better. It was still a great event, still great, but we gotta fix that. That whole thing was a fucking problem.
And again, look at what it is and not,
Yeah. With that being said, we will be back tomorrow night, 9:30 p.m. for Come Weekly TV, for we will continue season 0 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Come Tuesday TV, we'll probably start the Ho and Jim battles and whatnot. We'll go to America. And yeah, Raw rants, all that good shit. Stay tuned for all the other streams that we got coming up during the week. But with that being said, looks like there's been enough talk. There's been enough rambling here on the Ramblemania show. Great one. For it is time for you to tell all the Ramblemaniacs and all the BC aliens where to find us.
Indeed, you already know where to find us. Find us on Instagram at Ramblemania Show, at Banter Club Podcast. Find us on Twitter at Ramblemania, Facebook.com/Ramblemania Show. Also find our group there, Ramblemania Show's Banter Club. But we and the other wrestlers, podcasters, and everybody we associate with post all our goings on, all that's going down. As far as audio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, viewer podcast, found search Ramblemania Show or Banter Club. As far as visuals, Twitch.tv/Ramblemania Show. We're on Spotify video. We're on YouTube. Search Ramblemania Show or Ben's Company. If you like the video, click subscribe, click the bell so that when the new content drops, it goes straight to you. As far as me personally, find me on Instagram at TJ the Great One. That's TJ the GR, the number 8, the number 1. Find me on Twitter at TJ the Great. That's TJ the GR, the number 8. It's as simple as that.
TJ the Great to TJ the Great. And as always, follow me on Instagram at iZombies, IZOMBIESZ. Thank you for everyone that joined us for Collision and joined us here for the review and joined us on the chat. We love you all very much. We'll see you tomorrow on Twitch.tv/Ramblemania Show. Come Weekly TV. For TJ the Great, I'm Hazel the iZombie. This has been our New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom 19, New Japan AEW, Ring of Honor, Stardom, CMLL, Wrestle Dynasty 2025 live review here. We want to wish all of you out there 8-point goodies. Yeah. A2 fucking sweets.
Backhand on them. Any good fights and a good night. Guns up.
Later, Russell Lowe's. Point of goodies to you.
Now go home and smoke some more crack.